This is the Dallas Camera Club Monochrome and Color Print Competition for June 2012. Our judge this month is Jody Crown. This month's competition topic is still life. The image shall be limited to 3 to 5 common objects such as an apple, orange, and banana photographed against a plain background such as seamless paper or patternless cloth. Only your 3 to 5 objects and the background may be visible in the image. This assignment is intentionally limiting to showcase creative presentation, arrangement and lighting, and technical skills. My name is Erin Curry. I'm one of the print competition chairs, and I will be narrating Jody's comments this month. Jody Crown teaches continuing education darkroom classes at Brookhaven College and has done so for 10 years. She has a fashion design background and attended the University of North Texas. Jody was first introduced to photography by her father, who was an amateur photographer, and when she got back into the darkroom years later, it was just as magic to her then as it was when she was young. First, we have beginner's monochrome prints. Spools. I think this subject might have worked better with a different composition. Work to improve your clarity and contrast. I like the framing effect you used. Good detailing on the large spool and on the silk thread behind it. The ripples in the glass are interesting. Overall improvements would be helpful. Score 6. Heavy metal. The contrast on the metal pieces could be improved. The composition needs work. Try a different arrangement of your 3 items. You've chosen interesting pieces, and the detailing is good. Improvements would be helpful in composition and technique, however, impact is good. Score 7. Heirloom brush. Composition needs improvement. This should have been a close detail shot or show the entirety of your pieces. As is, the composition feels stuck in between and doesn't really work. Be careful with depth of field as you lose focus towards the back of this image. Use of lighting on the metal and glass is well done. Nice faceting on the beading. Tonality is good, and I like the silvery feel of this image. Improvements would be helpful on composition, while impact and technique are good. Score 8. Rocks on the Beach by Jackie Carver. Perhaps using a different background would improve this image. I feel the herringbone pattern doesn't quite work with the rocks. I might have shifted the crop, leaving less white space at the top and a little more at the bottom. I like the placement of the rocks and the tonality. Your focus is good. Impact and composition are good. Very good work on technique. Score 10. The King's Gambit by Michael Rivera. This image has potential, but the composition might be improved by cropping down to the front 2 or 3 pieces. As is, this piece is reminiscent of a classic depth of field study you might find in a textbook, and this takes away from the originality of the image. The knight and rook and the reflections behind them are excellent. The contrast and tonality in this portion of the image look great. Impact and composition are good. Very good work on technique. Score 10. Mardi Gras by Dallas Foglia. The cropping here could be a little tighter. There is one hot spot on the mask that is a little distracting, but you're working with reflective items, which is difficult to do. The arrangement of your items is fine, and the softness on the beads at the leading edge of the image doesn't bother me. Contrast is very good, and the solid black background adds to the impact. The detail and the shimmering fabric on the doll is well done. Impact and composition are good. Very good work on technique. Score 10. Set the Table, Please by Pat Camp. There are technical issues with your background, specifically a distracting hair near the spoon. Be attentive to such details. Silverware is difficult to photograph. The light is well handled. The rim lights on the edge of the knife and spoon are particularly nice. The simple composition with the fork over the knife is pleasing. Composition and technique are good. Very good work on impact. Score of 10 and honorable mention. 8 and Eggs by Chris Kobos. Nice effort on the lighting, but with a little more work you might have been able to eliminate the shadows between the 8-ball and the eggs. Nice texture on the eggs. Good job not blowing those out. You have good separation between the 8-ball and the background, even though both are dark. Good contrast, and I like the off-center composition. Sometimes simple is best. Good composition, very good work on impact and technique. Score 11, and 3rd place. Liquid Silver by Richard Stern. The crop could be improved on the left. The image either needs to be cropped more, or my preference would be to include the pool and the nice shadow along the edge. Like one of the earlier images, this crop seems stuck somewhere in between. Great impact on this shot. I like the detail on the top ball, and I like the pool of silver. That the image is reversed like a negative really works. The lighting works well, the tonality of the background is excellent. I think everything worked on this shot. The composition is very good, the impact and technique are outstanding. Score 14, and 2nd place. Which Came First by Susan Burciaga. Beautiful shot. Composition is wonderful. Lighting is superb. The feather floats. The eggs are beautifully, clearly detailed from the bright to the rich shadowing. The background is perfect. Good rule of thirds placement. Beautiful curve on the feather and eggs. The type of feather works really well to give a pop of interest. Clarity and depth of field are perfect. This image stands out above and beyond all the others. Outstanding impact, composition, and technique. Score 15, and 1st place. Next we have Advanced Monochrome Prints. Japanese Fishing Ornaments by Janie Rumberger. Glass is difficult to photograph. This is a simple composition that works really well and highlights the ornate detail of the individual pieces. Contrast is nice. The layered glass is a good choice and works well. Good work on impact and composition, and very good technique. Score 10, and honorable mention. Artisan Tools by Gary Cowles. I would like to have seen a tighter crop on this image, and I might have oriented the composition slightly differently. Wonderful contrast. The texture is superb. The differentiation of textures between the stone and metal pieces is wonderful. I like the deep black shadow along the edge of the stone, as well as the more delicate shadows from the tools. The image is clean and crisp. Good work on composition and technique. Very good impact. Score, 10, and third place. Paper by Wayland Threadgill. Beautiful composition. Great contrast. I can see every bit of texture from the paper. The shadowing is great. This is a beautiful piece. The streaking of light and curling of paper adds lots of interest. I like the way such simple objects make up the image. Outstanding impact, composition, and technique. Score, 15, and second place. Man Down by Aaron Curry. The title is funny, and it works for this piece. Great detail on the fallen man, beautiful detailing. The simplicity of the image feels Asian and almost looks like calligraphy. The impact is phenomenal due to the high key. Outstanding impact, composition, and technique. Score, 15, and first place. Some general issues I noticed among the advanced class include use of colored mattes, as the wrong matte color can really distract from an otherwise good image. Choose your backgrounds carefully and watch for creases and other distractions. Be careful with haloing when you process your images. Sometimes the subject matter wasn't particularly interesting, but the way it was photographed had impact and made the image work. By the same token, there were some great ideas that just fell short on the execution. Images with dramatic contrast tended to have more impact. Matching subject matter with paper choice is important. I saw images where this was well done, for example, where metallic objects were presented on glossy paper. And then I saw some images where paper choice didn't work as well, and you might want to explore other options. The top images were difficult to rank. On first and second place, they were very close, and on a different day, I might have ranked them differently. Our next group is Masters monochrome prints. Land and Sea, Houston Brown. Wonderful craft, This is a clever, well thought out shot. The shell alone wouldn't have worked, nor would have too much sand. The contrast and tonality are beautiful, particularly on the inside of the shell. The sand details are wonderful, and the lighting makes this image glow. Outstanding impact, composition, and technique. Score 15 and honorable mention. Soup's On by Dennis Fritchie. Beautiful repetition of line and shape and curves. Wonderful use of depth of field that transitions from clarity to softness. Contrast is gorgeous. Nice spectral highlights on the silverware. Excellent crop. Classically good composition. Outstanding impact, composition, and technique. Score 15 and third place. Examining the Past by Kay Hargis. Every detail is tack sharp, even the dust on the table. I can read the newspaper. Beautiful lighting on the glasses. They pop off the page. The texture is incredible in this shot. The image has a softness to it, yet it has perfect clarity. The highlighted glow across the image is beautiful. Outstanding impact, composition, and technique. Score 15 and second place. Playing with Light by Frank Richards. Classic use of the egg. Perfect lighting. The egg seems to glow from within. The use of the forks really sets this composition apart. I had to get close to recognize them. The curves created by the forks are simple and beautiful. Outstanding impact, composition, and technique. Score 15 and first place. I noticed that the technical execution is superb among the masters. Here we have greater mastery of the product shot technique, yet it's used in an artistic way. Several of these compositions are classic and reminiscent of still life paintings. I saw truly masterful craft in the execution of your images in everything from your use of light to composition and creative vision. My Judge's Choice selection is Paper by Wayland Threadgill. The hand-manufactured subject matter is superb. The lighting, shadow detail, and texture are excellent. The organic feel and simplicity just make this image. Now we have Beginner's Color Prints. Crosses. The cross in the center is hot and doesn't seem to match the others. The cross on the left is the most interesting, and the composition might have been improved by making that one the primary focus and creating a more dynamic arrangement by closer grouping or stacking. The image is clear and sharp. Changes are needed on composition. Improvements would be helpful on impact. Technique is good. Score 6. Shells. Work on depth of field to get the focus sharp throughout. The composition needs work. Usually an odd number of items is a good choice, but perhaps trying a different arrangement. The large shell on the upper left doesn't seem to match. Overall improvements would be helpful. Score 6. Fishing equipment. The crop here could be improved. If you're going to crop, be definitive, or else give me the whole thing. Don't just take off a tiny corner of an object. The green seems a little oversaturated. Improvements would be helpful on impact and composition, and technique is good. Score 7. Fruit on Blue. This image appears to be oversaturated, and the colors lack harmony. The amber-colored grapes look like they should be a part of a different composition. They simply don't match the rest of the fruit. The detail and crop are good. Your focus is spot on. Improvements would be helpful in impact and technique. Composition is good. Score 7. Carnival Red and Black. The face on the red jester is a little blown out and throws off the balance of the image. Overall, good impact, composition, and technique. Score 9. Dry with a Twist. The upper part of the shot loses detail. Try cropping or burning in the top of the bottle. You might try extending your depth of field to include the bottle in the background, as there is too much fall off. The lemon twist is really nice, as is the martini glass. Improvements would be helpful on technique, good composition, very good impact. Score 9. Time is of the essence. This could have been really good with better depth of field and without so much glare on the faces of the clocks. You might try using a polarizing filter with a shot like this. Improvements would be helpful on technique, good impact, very good composition. Score, 9. Still Life in Glass by Morris Stein. The composition needs a little rearrangement. You might try moving the bowl to the right of the tall vase where it might fit better. The background is nice. The circle of light is very nice. I like the repetition of the curves of the glass pieces with the curves of the light. Good impact and composition. Very good technique. Score, 10. Vintage Perfume by Julie Horak. Like a number of other shots I've seen today, this image needs more space at the bottom, leaving more room around your objects. Nice use of color and tonality, sharp image, and the background works well. The image is nicely balanced and far exceeds the similar image by the same maker in monochrome. The crop on this image allows the viewer to see all of the elements, and the crocheted piece adds interest. Good impact and composition, very good technique. Score, 10, and honorable mention. Orange Pyramid by Jackie Carver. I think this piece would have been better as a vertical or square shot. What I don't like is the dead center placement of your subject. The background choice and even the fold works well with the shape of the glass. I like everything else about this image, and it is well executed. Good composition and technique, very good impact. Score, 10, and 3rd place. Splashdown by Chris Kobos. This image is cropped too close on the bottom and crowds the glass. Some creases in the background could use correction. The image is tack sharp and is a very nice piece overall. Good composition, very good impact, outstanding technique. Score, 12, and 2nd place. Tricolor by Richard Stern. This image is cropped a little tight on the bottom. Try giving the bottles a little more room. This works as a product shot, but the composition gives it a more artistic look with the bottles off to one side. The colors are vivid but not too intense. This is a good image overall. It's a fun, grab-your-attention shot. Technique is good, very good composition, and outstanding impact. Score, 12, and 1st place. Next we have Advanced Color Prints. Generations of Russian Ladies by Tina Arms. This reminds me of a textbook depth of field study, but it works really well. The colors are really nice. The softness that carries through the image works well, as does the diagonal arrangement, which gives the image a sense of motion. Overall, very good. Score, 12, and honorable mention. We Are Going to Be Friends by Erin Curry. High-key always has a strong impact, and it's nicely done in color here. The paper choice works well for the image. The lighting is well done and even captures the almost white blocks against a white background. Nicely done. Very good composition and technique. Outstanding impact. Score, 13, and 3rd place. Graceful Calla Lily by Jerry Martin. This image would have been my choice for 1st place, but it might not meet the criteria for this month's competition. There is a small technical issue with a line in the background that could have been eliminated while processing. The color is really well done, not too much and not too subtle. Good technique, outstanding impact and composition. Score, 13, and 2nd place. Goethe's Study by Welland Threadgill. Composition is outstanding. Color is almost oversaturated, but it still works. The detail is crystal clear on the fork. I can even see the cross markings. The spectral highlights on the fork are almost blown out, but it is still a beautiful image. Good technique, outstanding impact and composition. Score, 13, and 1st place. Our final group is Masters Color Prints. Clipped by Dennis Fritchie. Great composition. The single shot tells a story. Beautiful printing. The colors are gorgeous. Very good composition and technique. Outstanding impact. Score, 13, and honorable mention. Hung to Dry by Kay Hargis. Incredible realism. Wonderful texture in this tone-on-tone color image. Magnificent clarity in your details. The simplicity is exquisite. Outstanding overall. Score 15 and third place. The Weight of the World by Houston Brown. The lighting is superb. It looks like a great deal of time and effort was put into tweaking the light to get it just right. I like the way the small square of light shows in the shadow. The image feels commercial and yet still looks artistic. I like the overall monochromatic tone with a pop of color on the globe. Outstanding overall. Score 15 and second place. Hanging Artichoke by Frank Richards. This image is very well set up. I like the way it's asymmetrical yet balanced, and I like the use of positive and negative space. Beautifully crafted, the texture is phenomenal. I think what really sets it apart is hanging the artichoke. Outstanding overall, score 15 and first place. Hanging Artichoke by Frank Richards is my Judge's Choice winner for color prints. I adore this piece. Unbelievable clarity and texture. I can even see the little fibers on the white string. The blocks frame everything beautifully, and I feel like this could be taken apart into several different pictures that would all work. Each piece of this shot just works.